Went over a railroad track today. It was a big bump, and just a split second after, I heard this boom. I'm like, sounds like the tailgate open. Got to where I was going, tailgate was open. I'm gonna take this out. There's, on the left side, there's a red tab in there. I'm going to put some lubricant on the end of that. On the right side, there's this green plastic. Must be a locking mechanism. Move those up. The tailgate still doesn't want to stay shut, so I'm going to remove the latch. There's probably 3 bolts. This one, I have a locking mechanism. I already took that bolt out. So I'm going to remove those bolts and hold the latch. I'm going to remove this trim piece using some panel poppers. Get this to loosen up a little bit and be really careful to paint. Stubborn. There we go. Careful not to break this. There we go. There's 2 clips here on the top that go in behind here, and then there's some kind of like pins here that go down into these holes. So you probably is easiest to remove that from the top. These rod clips, I just need to pry these carefully down. I don't want to break it down, and then the rod will pull right out. Drop those down. These clips stay there, so now I'm going to remove the bolt. With those rods disconnected, I just need to grab them and push them together. And that'll release the catches on both sides. And I'm going to remove, I have 1 bolt left on the handle. I'm going to remove that. And the whole handle will come out. I use some really long bolts on here, which aren't necessary, but I suppose they tried to use the same bolt in a lot of different places. Yeah, this part here is all rusty, and when you lift up on that releases those rods. So I'm gonna lubricate that really well. Probably these also. Put on some goggles. Get some lubricant down in this pin. And these can wear out too. May end up having to replace this whole assembly. And shoot this pin. This pin. Amazing that handle's plastic. I remember in the day when that was all steel. So I'm gonna move this back and forth. That lubricant in there. handle. It feels pretty good. So I'm going to reattach the handle. Bolt in and see how it looks. It looks good. I'll put the other bolts back in. I'll hook these rods back up. I want to make sure that clip is down. Just push it up. When it clips in, I can move that over, hook up that rod, and clip that. I want to put some lubricant on the end of these rods. They're rusty and corroded and all dried out. I'll put a little bit of lubricant on there, make everything move easier. Seems to be working much better. I think that one was probably the left side was hanging up. So I'll put this all back together. I'll put this piece of trim back on. I'll put these pins down into those holes right there. There we go. I'm going to tighten down these bolts. And this one I need to put in for the lock. I want to check these catches with a careful the Phillips screwdriver. Make sure those move all right. Goes down, it locks. Pull the handle, it releases. That seems to work good. I want to check both of those. My tailgate's a little sticky. This part here there's a spring on it, and it should spring up, but it's hanging up. So I'm going to lubricate it with some WD-40 Specialist water-resistant silicone lubricant, multi-surface, quick-drying, prevents against rust, and it's safe to use on all metals and non-metal surfaces, including rubber, plastic, and vinyl. Dries fast and leaves a clear, non-staining film without stickiness or messy residue. Safe for temperature range between minus 100 and 500. That's good. So I put on some goggles. Spray some of this in here, right on the pin where it pivots. And I'm going to do the other side. I'm going to open and close the tailgate a few times. Another issue could be anything that's in the way here when you shut the tailgate. Make sure that's all cleared out. Sometimes when they put in sprayed in bed liners, there'll be accumulation here so the tailgate won't shut tight. But another thing that can happen is these pins, there's one on each side, they can move. And I would need to remove the taillight lens, which there's screws here and here, then that opens up. There's a nut on this inside. I think this is a Torx here. I don't know what size that is. But sometimes these will move too, and I'll check that as like last resort. I don't want to move that. It's most likely, you know, these lubrication and these parts being seized up in the tailgate. I've got everything back together, and if you listen real close, you can hear both catches click. 1, 2. Listen. 1, 2. Both sides latch. Oh, that's awesome. Be sure and check out my other videos. Please subscribe, like, share, leave a comment below. Have a great day.